You. You who seek answers amid the madness of these troubled times. You who feel, deep within your sacred bones, that something essential has fractured in the heart of this modern world. You who know, without needing anyone to tell you, that the surface solutions are no longer enough. You, chosen one, mystic, sacred wanderer. It is you who has been summoned to remember. This knowledge, this ancient electric wisdom, has not been lost. It was preserved, hidden like a precious ember among the ashes of forgotten cultures, guarded by those who remembered the ways of spirit, feared by those who clung desperately to control, buried beneath centuries of comfort, of denial, of blind obedience to systems that profit from your disconnection. But now it rises again for you, for this time, for this very moment when the soul of humanity teeters on the edge of collapse and rebirth. You are being called to witness the mystery of the Heyoka, the sacred contrarian, the thunder dreamer, the cosmic jester whose medicine is chaos and whose laughter is lightning cracking open the hardened hearts of men.
When the world sleeps deepest, the thunder dreams come loudest. The Heyoka does not choose this path, it chooses them. It is a sacred burden, stitched into the soul before birth. To refuse this calling is to let your spirit sicken. The great mystery never chooses in error.
Long before the machines, before the towers of glass and steel choked the breath of Mother Earth, there lived a people who knew the dance between chaos and order intimately. The Lakota, keepers of star knowledge, wisdom carriers of the Great Plains. Among them, certain souls were marked, not by ambition, not by choice, but by thunder itself, chosen not by men, but by the Wakang Tanka, the great mystery, the voice beyond names. Marked by dreams where thunder spoke in riddles, where lightning became both weapon and baptism, where visions burned away the illusions of the mundane world. These were the Heyoka, souls who had no choice but to walk backward through the forward-marching delusions of their society. They did not seek to fit in. They were born to stand out, to become living riddles, holy provocateurs, catalysts of uncomfortable truths, chosen ones, mystics, warriors of light. Understand this truth written in thunder and blood. The Heyoka does not mirror you to flatter you. They mirror you to unmask you. They tear away your illusions, not with violence, but with the sacred blade of paradox. They break you open, not out of cruelty, but out of divine necessity. Because in a world drowning in narcissism, in a world where lies are stitched into every smiling face, every flashing screen, every hollow promise, the medicine of the Heyoka is not comfort, it is awakening. It is holy disruption. It is the refusal to let you sleep when your soul is screaming to rise. And you, dear listener, are not here by accident. You feel the pull because somewhere within you, the lightning still sings. Perhaps you too have walked backward through a world obsessed with walking forward into destruction. Perhaps you too have spoken truths that shattered comfortable lies, even when it cost you dearly. Perhaps you too have been called foolish, disruptive, dangerous, not because you were wrong, but because you refused to lie. In the eyes of the world, the Heyoka is a fool. In the eyes of the Great Spirit, the Heyoka is sacred. And when the storms of deception rage their loudest, it is the Heyoka who dances, laughs, and shows the way through the dark. The time of quiet conformity is over. The time of sacred contrarians has returned. And whether you realize it yet or not, you have been chosen to remember.
In an age of curated lies, the mirror must be relentless. The Heyoka shows the narcissist his emptiness, the controller her futility, the dogmatist his own absurdity. This is not gentle work, but it is holy work. The medicine, though bitter, is what the soul requires to heal.
Mystics, seekers, warriors of truth, you who are awake enough to hear these words, feel these currents, understand what few dare to acknowledge. The Heyoka's purpose has never been to simply reflect like a polished mirror at a vanity. No, they are sacred mirrors, forged by storm and vision, built to reveal what communities, societies, and individuals desperately avoid seeing about themselves. When the Heyoka rides backward, when they speak in contradictions, when they dance across the sacred taboos like thunder across the brittle plains, they are not mocking for mockery's sake. They are performing spiritual surgery, cutting through the sickness that hides behind polite smiles and comfortable lies. They are wielding paradox as a scalpel, slicing away the tumors of complacency, hypocrisy, and spiritual decay. Because without disruption, without discomfort, there can be no true healing. In every age, in every culture, the sacred fools have appeared, not to entertain, not to amuse, but to awaken. They are the ones who dared to bleed so that others could see their own blindness. They are the ones who wore ridicule like armor and misunderstanding like a crown, because they knew comfort preserves the illusion. Only disruption cracks the shell where new life can emerge. Now open your eyes, chosen ones. Look around you. Look deeply. This is the age you have incarnated into. This is the battlefield you were born to navigate. We live amidst a pandemic of narcissism, a spiritual sickness spreading faster than any physical plague. A world obsessed with its own reflection, trapped in curated images and hollow performances of worth. A world where value is measured by followers, not by integrity, where the loudest voice, not the wisest, is crowned king. Statistical proofs cannot be denied. Over 30% rise in narcissistic traits. A collapse of empathy among the young. A culture teaching that domination is success, that visibility is virtue, that compassion is weakness. The systems have been built to reward the hollow, to lift up the empty vessels while the full ones are silenced. Institutions thrive on extraction, not reciprocity, on manipulation, not mutuality. And in this great forgetting, the sacred mirrors were shattered, but not destroyed. The thunder beings are stirring again. The ancient ones, the storm dancers, the contrarian healers, they are among us once more. Perhaps you are one of them. Perhaps the chaos you bring, the discomfort you evoke, the misunderstanding you endure, is not a curse but a calling. In this age of curated lies and hollow grandeur, the Heyoka rises. They come as whistleblowers, willing to lose everything for truth. They come as artists, creating beauty so raw, it cuts through apathy like fire through frost. They come as seers and healers, refusing the poisoned offerings of a broken world. They come as the misunderstood, the mocked, the outcast, and yet they carry the medicine humanity has forgotten it needs. Understand this, mystic soul. The Heyoka does not merely confront individuals. They confront entire cultures. They heal not by persuasion, but by reflection. They show the narcissist their own madness. They show the controller the futility of control. They show the dogmatist the absurdity of their own certainties. And it is not always gentle. It is not always welcome, but it is always sacred.
There are two pains in this world. The pain of staying asleep in the lie, and the pain of waking up to the truth. The Heyoka offers you the second pain, the one that leads to healing. They do not ask if you are ready to be comfortable, they ask if you are ready to be whole.
Throughout the turning of ages, whenever societies hardened into rigid certainties, whenever orthodoxy calcified into prison walls, whenever power corrupted itself into a tower of greed, whenever human hearts grew numb to the living breath of the earth, the Heyokas emerged. They did not come to ask permission. They came as sacred equalizers, wielding chaos as medicine, wielding paradox as truth. During the Black Death that ravaged medieval Europe, while kings and priests clung to fading structures of control, it was the fool societies, the sacred jesters, who held together the torn fabric of community. Their satire, their mockery, their playful irreverence became a lifeline of sanity amidst the abyss of death. When the brutal hand of colonization descended upon indigenous lands, stripping away languages, ceremonies, and ways of life, it was often the contrarians, the seemingly nonsensical storytellers, who preserved the codes of survival and the songs of the ancestors, hidden in riddles, disguised in absurdities. The memory of spirit endured. Listen carefully, mystics. Listen well, seekers of light. Because the medicine of the Heyoka is not ancient history, it is the urgent lifeblood of today, and it moves through 5 sacred channels. Channels that our broken, narcissistic age needs more desperately than it even knows. First, the power of sacred disruption. The Heyoka breaks patterns that have become invisible through familiarity. They stir the stagnant waters. They tear down what is dead so that life can flow again. When societies become trapped in destructive cycles, when comfort breeds decay, the Heyoka brings controlled chaos, forcing the soul to awaken and see anew. It is disruption not for the sake of destruction, but for the birth of something pure. Second, the mystery of embodied paradox. By living contradictions openly, by standing tall in spaces where others demand either or, the Heyoka becomes a living bridge across false divides. In an age of endless polarization, where every voice screams for sides, for factions, for wars of identity, the Heyoka whispers with their life. Both can be true, neither may be true. Truth is deeper, vaster, and infinitely more holy than sides. They live in the fertile borderlands where wisdom grows wild and free. Third, the secret path of truth through absurdity. Some truths are too blinding to confront directly. Some wounds are too deep to dress with logic. The Heyoka knows that absurdity, the unexpected, the ridiculous, the playful nonsense, can slip past the defenses of a weary soul and plant seeds of awakening in places where sermons and slogans cannot reach. In laughter, in shock, in the sideways glance the soul remembers. Fourth, the crucifixion and resurrection of ego dissolution. The Heyoka sacrifices reputation, comfort, and often safety to serve what is real. They choose authenticity over approval. They choose exposure over masks. They model the sacred death of ego that every true seeker must eventually endure if they wish to find spirit beyond the illusions of self. And fifth, the fierce grace of shadow integration. The Heyoka embodies what society most fears, most despises, most denies, not to glorify darkness, but to make the invisible visible. They drag the hidden into the light. They make the unspoken speakable. They bring forth the rejected parts of the human soul, demanding they be faced, embraced, and transformed.
The Heyoka does not heal with sweet lies. They heal by revealing the sacred wound, the one in yourself, your people, your broken relationship with life itself. Their duty is to hold up the reflection until the soul remembers its truth. This is why we both honored and kept a respectful distance from them. Their medicine, though it burns, is what makes us whole again.
You who watch this, you who feel the resonance deep in your marrow, know this truth. We are standing now at the edge of a precipice. The narcissistic systems built to isolate, to consume, to destroy, are crumbling under their own poisoned weight. Our disconnection from nature, from one another, from the sacred breath of life, has triggered a planetary awakening. Not one we can ignore, not one we can buy our way out of. The architecture of isolation, the endless scrolling, the desperate comparisons, the hollow prizes, has led us here. We are the loneliest, most anxious, most spiritually starved civilization in human memory, while surrounded by endless technology, endless noise. But the Heyoka rises, the sacred contrarian stirs. They appear now not just in ceremonies, but in boardrooms, in protests, in underground art, in disruptive technologies, in the tender voices of those who simply refuse to lie. When narcissism isolates through false superiority, the Heyoka's mirror reveals our common frailty. When systems demand conformity, the Heyoka dances freely, demonstrating that liberation comes only when we abandon the masks. The mirror is being raised again. The sacred winds are blowing again. The time of the Heyoka is not past. It is now. And you who have felt the discomfort, the call, the sacred ache to tear away illusions. Perhaps you are one of them. The choice is yours, to pretend comfort a little longer, or to answer the thunder's call. Some of you watching this now, you feel something stirring inside you. Not just an idea, not just curiosity, but a deep resonance in your spirit, like an ancient drum beating from within your bones. Perhaps you have always felt different, called to speak when others stayed silent, driven to question when others blindly accepted, compelled to dance when others insisted on solemnity. Perhaps without knowing why, you have been drawn to the storm, to the edges, to the spaces where certainty falls away and something vaster waits to be born. Perhaps thunder has visited your dreams, whispering riddles into the chambers of your sleeping heart. Perhaps you have known the sting of ridicule, labeled difficult, inappropriate, foolish, even dangerous. Not because you were wrong, but because you dared to see and dared to say what others worked so hard to avoid. If this stirs something within you, beloved mystic, sacred contrarian, then know this: you may carry the Heyoka medicine. And in these times, these wounded, weary times, this medicine is not just needed, it is essential. Because in an age intoxicated by its own reflection, where narcissism reigns and truth is traded for comfort, the world aches for mirrors that are sacred, mirrors that reflect not just beauty, but shadow. Not just what we want to see, but what we must see to heal. But remember this, chosen one: the true Heyoka does not crown themselves. They do not claim their role from pride, from ego, from rebellion alone. Their authority does not come from self-appointment. It comes from humble surrender to a force greater than themselves. A force that burns away pretense and demands authenticity at any cost. They disrupt not for the thrill of chaos, but because disruption is the doorway to awakening. They confuse not to harm, but to awaken wisdom sleeping in forgotten corners of the soul.
You will know the call not by its comfort, but by its necessity. It feels like a prayer you forgot you memorized. If you try to walk this path from your ego, it will destroy you. If you walk it from your soul, it will destroy everything that is not you. The thunder chooses, but you must choose to listen.
Hear me now, sacred soul. The thunder beings are calling once more, not just across the sky, but across the plains of human consciousness. They seek those brave enough to stand barefoot in the storm, to be struck by fire, to be broken open and remade as healers, as awakeners, as living lightning rods for a new world. Whether you are called to walk the path of the Heyoka yourself, or to honor, protect, and amplify the voices of those who do, know this unshakable truth. The path of true healing rarely runs straight. It zigzags like the lightning. It speaks in riddles. It weaves paradoxes. It wears the face of the fool, even when delivering the deepest of wisdoms and in the darkest of nights, when the old ways collapse and the false idols fall. It is often the sacred contrarian, the mirror of thunder and tears, who holds the key to our collective rebirth. The Heyoka reminds us of what the indigenous ones have always known, that sometimes society must be broken open to be made whole again, that sometimes the deepest healing comes not with solemn ceremony, but with fierce laughter that shakes the walls of our illusions, that sometimes the mirror we fear most is the one that reveals who we truly are. In all our contradiction, all our frailty, and all our limitless potential. The thunder calls. It calls you. It calls all who still dare to feel, all who still dare to dream, all who still dare to awaken. The only question that remains is, how will you answer? If these words stirred something ancient within you, if you felt the thunder rise again in your bones, if you remembered, even for a fleeting moment, who you truly are beneath the noise of this world, then I invite you, beloved mystic, sacred one, to walk this path a little deeper with me. Do not let the ember of awakening die here. Feed it, breathe life into it, carry it forward. If you feel called to support this sacred mission, to stand with others who are hearing the call of the thunder beings, then I invite you to join our growing sanctuary on Patreon. There we dive even deeper, uncensored, unfiltered in sacred community, into the mysteries that the world so often tries to silence. Your support does more than sustain this work. It amplifies the signal across a sleeping world. It strengthens the web of light we are weaving together. And if this message spoke to your soul, like this video, so its resonance may ripple further. Subscribe so you may continue to walk this journey of remembrance with us. Share this message with those whose spirits you know are also stirring, waiting, yearning for a sign. You are not alone. You never were. The thunder has called you here for a reason. Answer it boldly. Answer it with love. Answer it with light. We rise together. Stay sacred. Stay true. Stay lit.